China.
All right, let's do this.
I feel pretty good already, not gonna lie, but we've got a new beer tonight. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Wednesday. This is Drone Brews, the only live show on YouTube where you can drink and fly. Okay, not legally. I don't think I'm legally allowed to say that. But what's going on, everybody? Hope everybody's doing really well. Tonight's beer of choice is from Brew Hub, and this is called, get this, you guys are gonna fucking love this. Let me just get a little pull in here, a little product here. Check that out. That is called Key Billy. Key Billy. What are the odds I could find a beer like this? I'd say pretty good. Let's give it a crack. Give it a taste. Haven't had this beer yet. How many beers in? 3, 4. I don't know. You know, it's a good day. It's all about a good time. What did I say? What did I tell you? That Wednesday is my favorite day. Wednesday is the favorite day on deck. So let's give this a sip. The first sip. Let's do this. It says it's got a little citrus in there, so let's hear it. Ooh, I don't know if I like that. It's a lot of lime. Let's give it another sip. That's a lot of lime. Not really. I don't know how I feel about this. All right. We're going to have to apparently drink this. 5.4. I feel like this is a waste. I may have to go get good beer somehow in an intermission. I don't know. Maybe I'll do an intermission. All right. So tonight's guest is Jack from Half Chrome Drones. Let me try that again. Tonight's guest is Jack from Half Chrome Drones. We're having some speech issues already. Here we go. You're in for a hell of a show tonight. Tonight we've got a topic that has been burning. Literally, people have had the question and concern that their Mavic Air 2 has a overheating issue. So Jack has actually done some research to find out how many people are actually, if any, are actually truly affected by this, and if this is something anybody should be concerned with. Spoiler, I have no idea because I spent the day arguing with myself. So we'll go ahead and bring Jack on here in just a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and just message him, the little message-a-rooney. You on standby. I don't know how to type and not read it out. Yeah, there we go. We'll have to fix Jack's audio when I bring him into the stream so things don't go sideways, which, you know, that tends to happen. We've been doing good. We've been doing really good as of late. We haven't had any audio issues. Knock on wood. Knock on wood. Come on. It's good. But let's do this. Why don't we do this? Let's jump into the chat. Let's do this. We got we got Sargar Nations, B-Max, Aerial Visuals, Lon Denard, Patrick O'Neill, Al Diaz, Samuel Madrid, Fly High, Wisconsin, Daniel Porter. Got Bob Casey. We've got Miko Ghost, the old codger in the house. Junior L, Walter Hall. We got Jake's Drone Life, B-Man 80, Lauren, how are you? Brad, and of course, Mr. Above and Beyond Drones. Stacy Reese, what's going on, my friend? How are you? Okay. With all that said, I think what we'll do is we'll do this. How's it going, Drones are Eagles? From Philly. Love Philly. Gotta love Philly. Oh, Kissimmee in the house. That's nice. All right. So we're going to give Jack a call. I see he's online. He's on standby. So what I'll do is I'm just going to call him. Jenna, you're the only girl. Always, but that's okay because you get us. You get us. So that's fine. Eddie Nunez. What's going on, buddy? Okay. Let me call Jack now because this, like I said, is where I take the show possibly sideways. We're going to hope. We're going to hope we have no audio issues. I have no idea. We can only hope. The best. Whoa, B-Mac. What the hell? Doug Bell. Damn it, man. No, man.
Hello.
Hey, man. What's going on? You got some camera vibes or?
Oh, I got the wrong camera. I'm over here.
Whoa! What's going on with this angle?
I want this camera. This camera's better.
Yeah, well, clearly.
Shit.
I'm gonna go ahead and pipe you in here while everybody argues on the stream. It's a shit show right now. But it's okay. Thank you, B-Mac. Thank you, Doug Bell. Again, you guys both get those things. I told you, Doug, damn it, not necessary, man. Not necessary. And B-Mac, that was not necessary. You guys are both friends. Don't do that. Son of a bitch. All right, let's God, I shouldn't have had that couple of beers there. Jack, how you doing, man? You doing all right?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
I'm good, man. You know, we're just winging this one this time because, like, we didn't do a test call this time. So I don't necessarily know if it's going to have audio issues, but I usually know how to fix this now that I've fixed it so many times. So okay. I am just prepping your arrival into the stream. Your video looks clean. We'll say stream only, and let's mute your NDI feed. Okay.
All right.
All right.
Hopefully my mic is good. I figured I got the right camera on, so
that's half the battle. I don't hear anything. What are you drinking, man?
This is a milkshake malt porter from the Point Brewery up in Stevens Point, Wisconsin.
That looks good, man. That looks really good.
It's delish. I'm a stout porter guy.
Okay.
And, in the summer, I usually switch it up, but I had an IPA that just wasn't doing it for me, so I went back to what's good. You know,
this is not doing it for me right now. I'm trying this thing. It's called an Island Ale. It's called a Key Billy. It tastes like shit, but we're gonna hammer it down, and then maybe we'll try again. We'll try to smash it. You smash your can, I'll smash mine. We'll give it a go.
You know what? I think can smashing is that's old news, Ken. I think we should move on.
You want to? All right, fine. We'll smash batteries. So you've probably heard this story circulating that people were talking about their Mavic Air 2s overheating. We've had a couple of stories where they've fell out of the sky because of an overheating error. That was the last known error. Now, I can speak personally for myself, living in here, Florida. It's super hot, flying the drone. I have not had any overheating issues with mine. What research were you able to do to find on that?
So I looked into it. If you Google, Google search got me nothing really.
Okay.
I actually saw this issue pop up on Facebook a couple of days ago. There was a guy that did drone repairs, right? He did DJI stuff, and I guess he had the issue. He sent it back to DJI. They They didn't honor his warranty. They charged him, I think, I'd have to look at my notes. I wrote it down somewhere, like almost $700. He got the drone back, I think, today. He messaged me on Facebook. He actually might be watching. But anyway, I did a little more research on Facebook. I found that drone. There's actually a video of that drone, someone else's video. I think it was SSH drones or something like that. Anyway,
Okay.
it overheated. It looked like it crashed. They didn't show the crash. I don't doubt that happened, but I just don't. I don't know how prevalent it is. I was actually more. I'm more concerned that DJI would have charged him for
but this is an ongoing problem though with DJI. So I haven't talked about my Mavic, my second Air crash, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we sent it in for repair on the 12th. So what is it now? It's the 17th, right? So from the 12th to now, we're still dealing with this. We're still battling customer service. Now, mind you, it took 8 days for them to receive the drone because the holiday. There was a holiday in there. I can't remember which one anymore. Memorial Day. Shit.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, so they got the drone, they evaluated it, and they denied the claim. They said that there was impact that caused the damage. And I said, well, wait a second. How is there impact? We were nowhere near anything that would have impacted it. And they said, well, you hit a building. I said, how did we hit a building? There's no freaking way. We had 2 witnesses to the event, and none of that. Like, if you hit a building, especially like that building, especially, my ass would have been toast. Would have been toast. Or I probably wouldn't have got the drone back because there's like a railing that goes all the way around it. But where it landed was on a guy's boat dock. That's why he picked it up. So they're like arguing. They're arguing with me back and forth. So then they come back with a counter offer and says, "Well, we'll give you 30% off." To which that I told him, "No, fuck that. No, I don't need the drone. I have another one. I've got another one. But now I'm just going after them for principle. Like, fix the drone, make right by your warranty." I sent them more logs today, so we'll see where that's going to get us.
That's the issue, right? So drones have errors, right? Every batch has bad ones, right? And that's fine, whatever. But the biggest issue isn't is this overheating an issue? Who knows? But DJI needs to take care of their product. I think at the end of the day, that's the biggest issue. Is if this guy bought this drone on Amazon or DroneWorks, he'd go to them and they'd take care of it, and then they'd be dealing with DJI. And,
absolutely.
That's not right? DJI, if they do people complain about Alltel's customer service?
Yes and no. They do and they don't. But I think what happens, what I've witnessed personally with them, is that eventually when push comes to shove, they're going to do the right thing. They're going to do the right thing. You know what I mean? Like, They ultimately, their main concern always is, I want to take care of the customer. And for the most part, DJI used to be that way. But I feels like as of recent, I don't know if there's a shift, a paradigm in their infrastructure, that it seems like they work harder at getting out of claims than they do just to, all right, what reality, and I'm just being real. What's it cost them if they said, you know what, this drone got fucked up? Is it really worth the aggravation or the potential, mutiny amongst people if they find out this claim was denied based upon, what occurred? Like, which was it literally just tumbled out of the sky, and I've got a right rear motor that's seized. I have video of the motor completely locked up and no physical damage to any of the motors, but it's completely locked up. And they say no. Like, what? It's just easier. Take care of it. What does that drone cost them to build? What, like maybe $200, if that? Maybe less, probably.
Right. I'm with you there. I wonder if it has something to do with people buying fewer drones right now.
It could.
And so they're selling less drones, so their profits are lower. Everyone's having supply chain issues.
Sure.
So maybe they don't have the the backups to send to people. I think there's probably a lot at play, but in the end, I think it really comes down to is they got to do right by their customers, because
exactly,
you don't do that, then you stop having customers, right?
Right. And that's, that was one of the things I was looking at when I looked at my log. I can see, where it tumbled. I can see where it was falling. And then, yeah, you can see impact, but it was after it started descending on its fall. You can see, yeah, there was an impact sensor was affected. So whatever it hit on the way down could have been a pillar, post. I have no idea at the time. Yeah, but I mean, they have enough data there to definitively, prove that it fell, but yet they still want to go round and round, which I'm fine. Like I'm going to be completely real. I am battle tested when it comes to support teams. Like I mean, this is what I did. I've built teams like this specifically to support software, and I will go rounds with DJI. Like, and I don't get tired. I don't get tired with it.
Well, they're then they obviously don't know who they're dealing with, right? So
No, they don't. And and I don't. We didn't even tell them. Because we just sent the drone in. Like, we wanted to see what they would do. We didn't say who we were. We didn't say we were DroneWorks. I didn't say it was me. We just sent it in like a normal customer because we wanted to see how would we be treated. How would we be treated with this whole situation? And sadly, not very well.
Yeah, that's disappointing. I think that's the right thing to do. I mean, if push came to shove and you let them know who you were and who your affiliations were, I think that would.
I didn't want that. I didn't want it to influence them.
I know, right? And I think this is good, and people need to know this, right? Whenever we make a video that says something negative about one of these drones, people jump all over it. Like,
right, yeah.
Why does everything have to be sunshine and rainbows? It's not.
Yeah.
And if we're just giving you what's good about these things and these companies, then we're just as bad as those companies are that are trying to to twist your arm.
I agree. And sometimes, I don't think what a lot of people don't understand, it's easy to push that positive narrative on somebody. It's easy for me to say, this is absolutely freaking amazing, and here you go. By the way, there's a link in the description. Go ahead and click that. Like, yeah. I pride myself on the fact that all of my drone links, quite literally, I don't get any financial gain off of. People think that Zach pays me. He doesn't. He's friends with me. I'll help him out in that regard, where people will buy through DroneWorks. But getting a free drone and getting paid for something you bought or were given for free with additional affiliates. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but I can say, wholeheartedly, I can say and do whatever I want, and I don't like. That's why people are like, well, that's why DJI won't work with you, and I say, well, I don't give a shit if DJI won't work with me. I hope it says like that, because then it keeps me true and unbound. I don't feel like when I see them at an event, oh, you said this, fuck you. I don't care. That's just always been my mentality with any brand, and that's maybe why certain companies are not too apt to give me products, because they know that I'm going to say something stupid, possibly.
Yeah. You there, Ken?
Yeah. Skype does that, man. Skype. Sometimes Skype just like sort of randomly freezes up.
It's like you have T-Mobile service.
Who's that?
You have T-Mobile in Florida? They're terrible.
T-Mobile. Yeah, we've got T-Mobile.
Okay.
Yeah, they're pretty shitty, which is weird, because like connection wise, we're streaming at 1080 and it's looking pretty good. But Skype, man, Skype will just crush any sort of resolution. Anything you got, man, just fucks it up. So I wanted to also talk a little bit about the channel Half Chrome, because I know we've done some work together. We developed a show called Drone Buzz, and
Drone Buzz, yeah, that was fun. That was a great idea that you had.
So now it's spun off into a live stream. When is that live stream exactly happening?
So we're gonna do our live stream number 2 Sunday. So I think Chris and I, we settled on Sunday nights.
It's a good time to stream.
So right about now, our first show last week was a mild disaster. We're still trying to work some of the bugs out. I think we had some hardware issues, and I think we got that figured out. So our next one should be a little bit better. But yeah, Yeah, no, the drone buzz was a lot of fun. Thanks for putting us onto that. That was pretty cool. And we're taking that theme. We're gonna run with it. We figure, we'll talk about drone news. We'll talk about things we got coming up, things in the drone world that are happening. We've done a ton of flying with the Mavic Air 2, so that was kind of our first show. Chris
Yeah.
took the Swell Pro Spry up to Michigan and dunked that in Lake Michigan this past weekend. So we'll talk a little bit about that. But
That's
yeah, it's
what's the Spry? What's the Spry like? Is that like it looks like a combination of like FPV and a waterproof drone almost.
Yes. So the Spry, it's kind of like my grandpa drove. He loved Cadillacs, but like
Okay.
1980s, late 70s Cadillacs are huge. They got giant motors. They don't handle well. That's what the Spry is, except it's waterproof. So you fly a little FPV. I've seen some of your stuff. It is an FPV drone with GPS, but the camera, the field of view is like this.
Super narrow.
So I put some goggles on and I was flying around my parents' farm, and it was not good, but you can dunk it in the water. And Chris said after he turned off GPS, it was actually better because it responded a little bit more the way you would think a racing.
And that's my fear. That's my fear. Like, people I know want GPS on these, drones, but I think that if you put GPS, or you deal with like a consumer, let's say a consumer FPV, like if DJI made a consumer FPV, hopefully they leave it without GPS beyond like maybe a failsafe, because I swear if you put GPS on something like that, man, it's gonna be a terrible idea. Yeah, that's got GPS on there, right?
Right here. Yeah. So
that's a good spot to put it.
You know what it's cool? What it's good for is not for the return to home, but it'll do. But you get like airspeed and statistics, and you can locate your drone in case you crash it. Because when you crash it, right?
I crash often.
You're not flying if you're not crashing.
That's it.
That's what FPV is. That's the difference. Like when I fly my Mavic, I don't want to crash, right?
Yeah.
But when I fly my my FPV stuff, like I will try something until I crash, right? So it's a little different.
I've learned not to say one more pack. I'll have 4 packs and I'll say all right, one more pack, and I'll say one more pack, and then I'm going home with something broken. Never fails, every single time. So when I see that last pack, now mentally I just grab it and I'll use it, but I won't say one more pack, because I know damn well I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna be like, fuck, I broke something.
Yeah, I almost always break something. I broke yesterday. I broke 2 Tiny Hawks, my Tiny Hawk race, and then I was at the park flying. I was trying to do some comparisons. I put the analog feed on the DJI goggles, so I was flying the race. That broke. So I go home and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna fly the Tiny Hawk 2. Just zip that thing around the yard.
Yeah.
And that actually popped an ESC. So gosh, it's like.
You break. It's one of those things where you break something, you go. You break something, you go. I mean, I keep breaking more shit than I care to admit. Anyways, I'm gonna see if I can bring something into the stream. I've started implementing something that I think is going to be pretty cool. So let me see if I can pull it up here. Let me see. I'm going to bring this in. You'll probably get a delay. So you guys are going to get a delay. It's 5 minutes long. I did a video. So I'm doing some real estate videos, and I'm trying to incorporate FPV. So I ended up just doing this. I have no idea if this is actually going to play or not. Let's see if it does. Like I said, you're going to get a delay.
Some of those shots you were posting on Twitter.
Yeah, so these were some of the shots that I was posting.
That's good stuff.
So not everything obviously is FPV, but a good majority of what I used for this video was FPV. Obviously none of the interior shots, because I would have absolutely destroyed this house. But I decided to take some interesting angles with the shots. I almost hit the realtor. She was not thrilled. This house is absolutely freaking massive. Already done with that beer.
Left water running.
Yeah. I've learned like motion in video. You want a lot of motion. This house is interesting because it's got like sort of like a split level design type of thing, and it's got like multiple apartments in it. It's sort of a neat place.
The Insta 360 Go camera?
Yes, I want to get one of those.
I just ordered one on Monday.
Did you?
Like, you can put that on a tiny little Cinewhoop, and you could fly this house, and it does a nice job of stabilizing the footage. Is that a handheld gimbal walking through the house?
Yeah. Using a handheld gimbal. I only used the FPV drone on a couple of shots, like right here, like this one right here. Just to give a little bit of an added like flair to it. Almost at the house here. So just something different.
Yeah, that's cool. Flying over is cool.
Yeah. So they seem to like that style of video. But I've seen that Insta1 Go, and I've actually contemplated it because it is such a small camera. It is so light. You can put it on a lot of different things. I'd have to try it in a house to see how it would do. My thing is distortion. The biggest thing is you don't want vertical lines all distorted. And sometimes when a lens is so wide, you'll get distortion. But outside, you really don't notice. Like with the GoPro, using a Hero 6 on that, you couldn't really tell that there was any sort of distortion. That's on the Shendrone Squirt, actually.
Nice.
Which
that's
is
nice. That's good. I love the Cinewhoop, but I cannot. I'm just not smooth, right? I fly drones almost on a daily basis, but I every day I fly something different, right? So it's like I never really get good enough on a particular thing that I would trust myself, flying through a house and
that's why like today I decided to myself. I started thinking, I'm like, the biggest problem is I think we all want the next best thing, right? Everybody wants the next best drone, and they will buy the next drone, and they've never mastered the first drone that they have, right?
Yeah.
And my problem is, what I do is I flip flop. Like I'll use the Mavic on a shoot, and then I'll use an Evo. And finally today, I'm like, all right, I need to just be consistent about whatever it is I'm doing. It's either I got to use the Evo 2 Pro or the Mavic 2 Pro, but I can't go back and forth because it's just not conducive to consistent delivery. So I just said, well, it's time to retire, because another deciding factor is I'm got another freaking battery going bad on the Mavic 2 Pro. And I'm leaving them, I'm not, leaving them stored charged. I'm leaving them like just about like 40%, which I think that's a safe method of storing. I think anything less is dangerous, and anything more is too much if you're not using it.
Yeah.
I think around that halfway mark is sufficient for storing, anything like that. I could be wrong though. Could be wrong.
They say like 3.8 volts per cell, right? So
right.
Who knows? I've seen it. Some people say, oh, you got to leave them full. Some people say you got to drain them all the way. But most people will tell you, 3.8 per cell is where it's at. But with those drones, like what is that really? I don't know. Is it?
Yeah, we have no way to really know, and it's another thing which, I mean, some people will say, well, the FPV batteries, they're not smart, but the one thing I like about those is that I can connect them up to a battery checker, and I can figure out exactly what my cells are without having to connect it to anything electronically, which I sort of like that.
Yeah. You know where you're at. No, I saw that you made that video, the Evo 2 versus the Mavic 2 Pro, and
Damn.
I think, my first thought was, oh, well, they're all the same, but they're not, right?
No.
Even going between different Mavics, it's different, and the settings are even ones that use the same app, right? The Mini and the Air 2 use the same app, but they have different different capabilities, and even some of the capabilities are different between, like the quick shots on the Mini, right? They're limited to like, half the distance that you can with the Air. So, you kind of, I'm with you. You got to pick a drone, and you got to
Yeah.
learn that drone. If you want good footage, whether it's photography or FPV or whatever your deal is, bouncing between drones is,
That's
you'll be a decent flyer, but
Oh
you
yeah,
won't be
yeah.
you won't
You're
be proficient.
you're not going to be
At what you're
proficient.
trying to do.
I mean, and that's the mistake I made. I mean, I built all these quads and they're all different. So now what I'm doing is I'm building quads, but they're the same specs. Like I'll build two of each, so I have redundancy, but it's the same exact thing, same stack, same motors, same frame. So that way they all are tuned and fly, relatively similar to one another. So that way I can at least get it down.
Right, and then you figure out what what PIDs work for you, and then you get your
Yeah,
rates
exactly.
tuned in, and you switch quads, and they have different rates, and then it's the sticks don't work the same way.
Exactly.
Even photography drones, gimbals moving at different speeds. That matters.
Right, right. And that's the thing I'm waiting for too with the Mavic Air 2 is this smart controller update, right? They've got this beautiful piece of tech, the smart controller, and they're not, they haven't updated it yet. I'm sure it's going to be coming at some point, right? I'm really super optimistic that they're going to release that update relatively soon. I would imagine they would have to, right?
I would think so. Is it the codec that is holding that up? Is that
I'm sure there's like a line of code that is not allowing it to bind to where the radio is allowed to communicate with the unit. I mean, that's the only logical explanation, right? What other reason would you have for it not being able to bind or communicate? So, I mean, they've done it for a specific reason. I don't know if it's one of those things where they're like, all right, well, we want people to buy it first, and then we'll release, we'll gain interest by saying, oh, hey, it's ready to go now. So,
right. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. I don't know. Maybe I heard that they the DJI Fly app, they were having issues, and they actually had to kind of pare that down, and they'll just kind of slowly add updates to kind of make that more usable. So maybe it had something to do with that.
it's not terrible. The Fly app is not terrible. It's
No,
not.
no,
It's not amazing. I mean, it could be better, but it seems like that's where they're transitioning to. Maybe they just wanted an excuse to rebrand that application entirely from the DJI Go, which was sort of dated, right? It wasn't that the best.
I thought the Fly app was kind of their, at least with the Mini, was their way of kind of making it more user friendly.
Sure.
But I don't. I feel like they missed the boat on that. Like it's not like they want it to be like the Apple, right, where everybody just it's intuitive and you can figure it out, but it isn't. I think the quick shots specifically drive me insane. They change what the naming is. I think the icons are ridiculous. They don't it doesn't. If you've flown the Anafi, right?
Yeah.
I thought whatever you think of that drone doesn't matter, but the quick shots or whatever they're called on that thing were super intuitive. The icons made sense. I'm like, oh,
I think Parrot.
Parrot.
But think about it. But think about with Parrot though. Look where Parrot started essentially, right? They started by making toy drones, toy grade consumer drones that the average Joe's going to pick up for their kid, right? They're going to pick it up for their kid, and mind you, this is like a 12 to 16-year-old that was essentially buying the Parrot ARs and all those goofy Mambas and everything. That it had to be intuitive. So you're giving it to a kid, so they had to figure it out. So you take that technology and you bring it over to now what is their consumer lineup. I mean, they only got one way to go and up. Speaking of Parrot and things that they've done recently, what do you think about that ad that they put out? Don't trust Chinese drones. You think, there are a lot of people that are like, really upset about them saying this.
They're feeding into to the American culture right now. It's time to to crap on China, so they're jumping. Whatever. They're French, so they can do that.
They can do that, man. Parlez-vous français?
But yo hablo español, so no.
Yeah.
I don't parlez-vous that French stuff, but no, that's they're playing that angle because they're different and they can, and the government has said things about China spying on them, and hey, we're French, we don't spy on people, so buy our drones. By the way, they're angling for it.
I mean, the reality of it all is to me, it's silly whenever I hear that, because I'm sort of like, all right, what data could possibly be really going back and forth? The reality is this: most users, and I say most because the vast majority are going to be using a iPhone, right? And part of the iOS ecosystem is those applications have to be vetted, right? They have to be vetted each update by an Apple engineer to verify the transmission of the data, to know exactly where that data is going back and forth.
Yep.
DJI doesn't give a fuck about what you or I are doing. They don't care what we are doing. And the fact that I think it speaks volumes for them that they have opened their software up to independent study. I got a good friend of mine, he's actually on Twitter, who's that's all he does is do research analytics and software vulnerabilities for drones, more specifically just DJI. That's his goal, is to analyze their vulnerabilities in the software. He gets paid to literally try to hack these drones, essentially, to hack the software. So, and even he says that, the reality is that the risk is super, super minimal. There's just not enough there to really transmit. Sure. And if there was anything, it would be detectable by, a far cry from the Apple or even Google. Right. So, I just don't think there's enough. I don't think I'm that interesting to really be spied on. And I don't know. That's just my mentality on it. I just don't think there's enough there to really warrant that.
I'm with you. Nobody cares what I'm doing, nor should they.
Right. Exactly. And it's like one of those things that if we were so concerned, we should have had a competitor or funded an American company to produce a equivalent, if not better, competitor to DJI. But if you look at all the drones currently that we've tried to build, most of them are too far industrial where a consumer is not going to want it. These are like heavy lift drones or agriculture drones, or, the reality is part of the components that you're utilizing are made in China. Fuck, even if you open up the Anafi, there are bits and pieces of the Anafi made in China. There are bits and pieces of the Skydio too made in China. So it's unfortunately inevitable. So I just don't understand the whole philosophy of it. That's me.
Yeah. Electronic stuff is coming from China. So I love when people ask me like, all right, so I want a drone, but I don't want. It's got to be American made. I don't want these Chinese parts. I'm like, well,
you're pretty screwed there. You're pretty screwed there.
So Skydio, though, I mean, they are an American company. Yes.
Yes, they are an American company.
But though I cannot believe that somebody has not swooped up and bought that company, if not necessarily for their drones, but for the technology that they're putting in that tracking software, those engineers.
But think of it this way. Good. Think of this way. What's better than somebody swooping up buying that company? Somebody actually putting money behind that company so it can become bigger. They have some pretty heavy investors in that company that it would be pretty hard for somebody to buy it. Plus, too, their autonomy is probably worth a pretty good amount of money, if I had to guess. And I'm sure,
if I was Elon Musk, and
100%.
If drones are in his radar, but that would be the company that I would be looking to poach engineers from, right?
100%. Because if you look at the engineers that, like, I don't know if you follow them on Twitter, but they will post, like, Adam posts videos all the time of like what his new engineers can do. And like just in 2 weeks of being with the company, he was able to code this application that was able to track boxes in just a couple of weeks. Like, they hired the best and brightest in the industry. And to me, that's incredible that you just did that in just a few days, weeks even. I mean, come on, it's crazy. Now, they do have a problem. They do need to be able to ship their drones. They are just like Autel in that regard, because Autel has a logistics problem where they can't get units in people's hands, and that's their own biggest Achilles heel. That's why we're not going to see a Mavic 3 any point soon. People are like, I'm going to wait for the Mavic 3. Well, you're going to stick your finger up your ass because you're going to be waiting for quite a while because the Mavic 3 is not happening for a while. Why would they cannibalize the sales of the Mavic Air 2? They wouldn't. They won't. The Mavic Air 2 is too profitable for them. And they don't have to because neither one of those Evos became a threat to even a 2-year-old drone, right?
Right.
That's just the truth.
What would the Mavic Air 3 have to be in order for someone to ditch their Mavic 2 Pro? Right?
I mean, first off, it has to do a couple of things. It's got to be able to shoot 4K 60, right? 4K 60. Okay. It's got to be able to fly at least 40 minutes. It's got to be able to fold up. It's got to be able to give lubed hand jobs. Okay, that's second or fourth. And it's gotta have a unique feature besides the hand jobs. You can't just offer that.
That's pretty unique.
I know it's unique. But you can't just offer that. It's got to be more. You can't just fly your drone and have a happy ending. Okay, it's got to be more than that. Okay.
You know what, Ken? I will say this. I tell people this all the time. I have a Pro and I have a Zoom. I shouldn't say we, right? Chris and I, we share these things. I will take the Zoom every day of the week, all the time.
Yeah. I like the Zoom. I think it's pretty phenomenal. But I just feel like the Mavic 2 Pro's just got like this little added gem because of the D-Log M and I don't know, the 1-inch sensors really.
It takes sharp. Better pictures. I'm with you there, but okay,
different strokes though.
For sure. I am not a photographer, right? Chris is the photographer. I'm the average Joe that just likes to fly stuff, right? And the zoom capability on that is so much more important to me because if I'm flying in an area and there's lots of trees, you know what? I don't need to get close. I'm just going to zoom right in. And I think that the 4K coming out of that zoom is pretty crisp, right? So the Pro had all those issues. It can't do 60. Why? Because it was overheating.
It's overheating.
Right? We talked about that earlier. The zoom doesn't have that problem, right? So, for whatever reason, I
think they can shoot 4K 60 on the zoom. They don't want to because then it would be like, everybody would be like, listen, we are as a collective group, like we are some of the most critical people. I say this all the time. I'm not even sure how we're married, half of us, because we're so critical, yet we can't even take out the garbage. We don't even make our beds, but we're worried about what specifications a drone has. Shame on you. You make the bed, you take the garbage out for your wife. I just took out the garbage today for the first time in forever.
I take out the garbage, but I do not make the bed.
I can't make the bed. I'm just going to sleep in it again anyways. I'm of that opinion myself. But I think like when I saw the zoom at the event, because we were both at the event for the Mavic 2, what was that, 2 years ago now? And I was like immediately, I know like the Pro was like, everybody's like, oh my God, I want the Pro. But I was like, I was enamored with the zoom, not even because it was cheaper. I was just like, holy shit, I would actually utilize that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's where I'm at.
It's a game-changing feature. The Mavic 3 should be the combination of those two drones.
Right. Screw the separate
4K
drones.
60, and it's got to be rainproof.
And I think at this point, they'll probably also even bring something stupid like 6K. Just because they can and they almost have to now. They're sort of forced into a realm that they didn't need to go down. You know what I mean? You don't have to go down that 6K path because the vast majority of us can't even edit 4K efficiently, right? So now you're throwing in 6K. Mm-hmm. You don't even have machines that can really play that back, for the most part. Now, is it future-proof? Yeah, it's future-proof. If the drone sticks around for another 2 years as well as the Mavic Pro 2 did, because the Mavic Pro 2 is a phenomenal piece of equipment, and that probably will still continue to be just like the Phantom 4 Pro is today, right? Was that now 4 years old, almost 5 years old? That's incredible when you think about it. So, I mean, I guess there's a factor in, that's why I tell people don't wait. Don't wait to buy your drone. Just buy it today because you can fly now, perfect your skill. And then when something better comes out, all right, well, if you want to upgrade or you want to buy something, go ahead and buy it. But don't wait. If you wait, you'll always be waiting for the next best thing. And the next best thing is not going to make you a better pilot. It's not going to give you noticeable improvement. And chances are the vast majority can't even tell the difference. I bet you if we did blind comparisons, a lot of people would get it wrong.
Yeah, the Mavic Mini camera is more than good enough for most people,
For
right?
most
So,
people, yeah.
it's not what I would choose, but because I have the luxury of having multiple Mavics, right? So like I said, I grabbed the Zoom, but the Air 2 is phenomenal, right? If I was a real estate agent, that's what I would buy, and I would never know the difference.
Right. And that's, I mean, for the most of the images that I've shot, it's been more than enough. But now, as I incorporate more and more video into it, it's like, all right, I need that added flexibility. I need 60 frames per second, even though I'm still exporting my videos in 24, we'll say. But I still need that 60 frames per second because I slow it down in some instances.
Yes, but you're a pro. Like, this is what you do, right? You're not in the majority of people that buy these things, right?
Right, exactly.
You do need that, right?
I'm probably like in that,
I'm with you there.
5% or 2% of the people that actually need something very specific. But for the vast majority of people, they probably don't need that. They'll be fine with the Mavic, Air 2. I think the Mavic Air 2 could have been so much better if they didn't cut certain corners with some things.
What don't you like?
Well, for starters, GPS takes a long time for it to lock, at least for me. I noticed it definitely takes longer than the Mavic Air 2. It takes a lot longer than the Evo 2. I think if they could have improved the speed of the lock, I would have been happy. I probably wouldn't complain about anything. Complain about anything.
That could be a firmware
fix. It could be a firmware fix.
That's something that is nice. I do think DJI has done a nice job of pushing updates to make their products better.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I've never seen them make a product worse with an update. Well, let me take that back. I shouldn't say that. I've seen a couple of pretty screwed up updates where it's like, all right, I gotta roll this back if I can. But I mean, for the most part, they've done a substantial job of improving things, update over update, and it looks good. Now, here's a question somebody asked in the comments. He says, would you upgrade? Stacey Reese asks, would you upgrade from the Autel Evo 1 to the Air 2? I would say yes.
I would say it depends who you are, right? If I have an Autel Evo 1, and I do, it's good. It's a really nice drone. Like, if I have the original Mavic, right? Why do I really need?
I can think of two reasons. I can think of two reasons, though. Question. The biggest reason why I would upgrade would be, for starters, the 90-degree field of view. You get way more props in the shot with that 90-degree field of view. The second thing, this was their first generation fold-in drone, and while it was good, it has some problems, and most of it stems from that gimbal, simply because one of the axes is built into the barrel of the gimbal, and for the life of me, you're not going to get rid of that horizon tilt. I don't care if you get rid of it or you say, oh, I don't have it. The minute you start panning or yawn with the Evo 1, inevitably it comes back. If you're watching, it will come back, and that is something that I've never been able to beat.
Yeah, and I forgot that you can get props in view with that. Although you can get them in view with the. I was flying the Zoom the other day, and we had props in view.
Yeah, you can get it like with poorly timed shutter. You'll get props in the shot. Like, that's why big thing too. ND filters on a lot of these drones. You'll time it to where you'll never see the props in the shot, which is great. Like, that's perfect if you can do that. And personally, I've never had a massive issue with the Evo, except for a few situations. A lot of time, because it's so wide, I'll actually crop in a little bit. Yeah, you lose a little bit of resolution. Don't get me wrong. You'll lose a little bit of resolution. But I'll crop in, and then the props are gone. No big deal. So, yeah. But it is what it is in that respect. I've just learned to deal with it, I guess. I guess sometimes you fly something so much, so long, you forget, like, oh, this is an inefficiency until you touch something else.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it obviously the Mavic Air 2 is better, but I still think, I mean, if you're just taking it out every now and then, you got, you fly once every 2 months or once a month.
So Cliff,
just for fun, right? I probably wouldn't buy it.
Cliff says it would be killer if the Air 2 allowed HDR and log or Cinity flat profile. Problem with that is the HDR is not a true HDR color profile, because that would be a hybrid log gamma. A hybrid log gamma, or HLG, would technically be a true HDR because the luminance values in that video would be entirely different, and that's a true HDR. So HLG is true HDR. I shoot HLG for my YouTube videos, and the luminance values are so different, even though I'm exporting to Rec 709. But the HDR that they are doing is just sort of an algorithm to determine, okay, here's shadows, here's highlights, I need to control it. And that's the reason why they don't allow you to shoot in a flat profile or a log with HDR, because it's not really a true HDR. I hate that term, high dynamic range, because it's just an algorithm actively controlling the shutter, or in some instances, if you have an aperture, to try to gauge that, perfect value between shadows and highlights. It's not like a true, hybrid log gamma or HLG. It sort of sucks.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on the HDR with the Air 2? Have you used it much?
I have used it because it does look good. It is really sharp. It's somewhat digitally sharp. I'll tone it back a little bit in post. Just ever so slightly. I'll knock it back like -3 in post because it does look a bit too sharp. It is a good HDR. I think Evo 2 in that trade blows depending on the lighting situation. I've used HDR in several situations, but for me, like I said, I like hybrid log gamma because I have LUTs that I've built. So I can take a log gamma and match my Sony camera like really easily with the Mavic 2 Pro. I can't do that with anything else.
I gotcha.
That's the only problem.
Yeah, that makes sense. The HDR in the smart photo or smart picture, I forget what it's called on the Air 2. I think they're really good for guys like me that just I want my good picture to look better, and it really does that.
The vast majority are not professionals. They're not selling this. They're not making money. They don't have to worry about somebody critiquing what they're doing. They're not going to worry about like an agent coming back to them saying, "Hey, this doesn't look right. This doesn't look true to life," or like with the colors. So the reality is it's irrelevant really for most, right? I mean, this camera is more than adequate. We're quibbling over like things that really don't fucking matter, right? I mean, it doesn't. It's not life or death if something's overly sharp or doesn't look right. I mean, who cares? I mean, tomorrow I could get hit by a car and none of it's going to matter. So, I mean, that's the way I evaluate things lately.
Yeah,
you just get to a point where you're just like, fuck it, send it. It's fine. It's just fine.
It's good enough.
It's good enough. It's good enough. So,
beer.
I mean, drink to that. Well, man, I appreciate you coming on tonight.
Well, I appreciate you having me. It was fun.
Yeah, I think we had some solid conversation. I'd love to have Chris on one night. So the other half of the half chrome.
The other half of half chrome. He's good, but he's like the nerdy engineer. So you got to come ready with that stuff.
I know. Well, we hit him hard with the questions. We'll get a couple of beers in him. We'll have you behind the key, the what the fuck is it? Teleprompter. At this point, guys, the stream is demonetized. We've hit our F-bomb limit. We're not done yet, though. But yeah, man. As always, appreciate you coming on. I hope you guys have a good stream this week. I know you've put in the homework to make that work. Give Chris my regards, and when I get up there, I will be flying together and breaking stuff together.
Sounds good. All right. Check us out on Sunday, guys, 8 p.m. Central Time.
There it is. Half Chrome Drones. Link in the description below.
Boom. Thanks again, Ken, for having me on.
You got it, brother. Let's talk to you soon.
All right. You have a good one.
See you, man. All righty. And now, finally, we are in the spiral. Ladies and gentlemen, the final hour. I was not satisfied with this beer. This beer sucks. I will probably not drink the remaining amount of this beer. I will not drink the remaining amount of this beer. I also feel like I have to pee. I feel like that has to happen. So there could be two things that needs to happen. Either one, I use the restroom now, reload with a real beer, the champagne of beers. We come back, we get super wrecked and break shit. Maybe we tear down the lights and tear some panels off the wall and just go streak down the street. Have a drone follow us. I don't know. Sky's the limit, my friends. Sky's the limit. You want my HLG lot? I'll send it to you, man. It's a hybrid Leeming lot, and it's Leeming. It's a hybrid lot. I'll send it to you. Exactly. Half chrome are good, decent guys, not low lifes like me. I don't know how to take that, Cigar Nation, but I like it. I feel that is a compliment. That is a compliment. But Jack is a good guy. He's a good guy. Alrighty. How about this? Let's do this. Why don't we just we'll do this because we're not ready. We're not ready yet. We have a lot of stream left into us. This is like Friday. Boys. Why don't we get another beer? We're going to get another beer. I'm going to pee. Get another beer. And then we'll finish up this conversation as we drink one of these delicious beers of the gods, nectars of the deep, century of the old, age of the week, world-renowned key lime. This beer sucks. I blame Jordan. This is Jordan's fault. God. Yes. All right. These beers suck. All right. I guess what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to pee in the can. Because we can't leave the stream. We'll pee in the can. No, I'm just joking. That's illegal. Let me go get another beer and take a piss. Ugh. God, I can't. Oh, how'd I get up there? Oh, son of a gun. Doug, dude, you're banned from doing. Doug, damn it. What the hell, man? What the fuck, dude? No, dude. Step away from 10 minutes and that happens. No. Ladies and gentlemen, the champagne of beers established in 1903. 1903. That's a beer. That's a beer. That's a beer, my friend. That's a fucking beer. There we go. That's a beer. Holy moly, that's a beer. We got the beer. We've got the party. We've got the ice. We've got the water. B-man, where's the phone? Always good for... All right, you want debauchery? We're doing debauchery. I was supposed to call Billy. We got to do this podcast thing. That's going to be late. I still have my calling number. This is my calling number. All right. So if you want to call into the show, here's the number. You can call in right now. You can call in. Is this on freaking? All right, here you go. Here's the number. I'm going to give you the number. I'm just waiting for it to turn 10 o'clock so that the do not disturb goes off. All right. I don't care if it's yuck. I'll do shots with this. I'll snort this up my nose, this high life. All right, here it is. Here's the calling number for the original Dobo Shit Show. That's the number you need to call if you want to be on the show right now. That's the number you need to call if you want to be on the show right this very moment. Is it shaking or is it just me? I feel like that's ultimately shaking. Son of a gun. Son of a bitch. Hang on. Can y'all see that? I don't know. Can you see that? All right, that's the number. There it is. Lock in your numbers. All right, here it goes. We've got it open. So now at this point, what are we waiting for? We're waiting for a call to come through. That was 6 days ago, that one. All right. We're refreshing. I'm refreshing. I don't know what's happening. This is a mess. Turn off Do Not Disturb. That was in Do Not Disturb. That's why I wasn't getting phone calls. Well, son of a gun. Hell's bells. Do Not Disturb. What do I got to do? Oh, that's to turn it on. It's on by default. Revelations. All right, so here it is. Here's the. Oh, we just got a call. Here we go. Hello. I want to start the call. Hello, you're on with the original Dobo.
Yeah, I got a question.
Okay, what's going on?
I just returned Evo 2.
Okay.
And I'm thinking about buying the Evo 2 6K.
Okay.
And I'm hearing all these things about the Mavic Air 2. What is your advice on that?
Okay, so how do you fly? Like what are you looking to get out of your drone?
Well, I was actually just as a hobbyist, but I'm really looking on maybe trying to actually take it a little bit further, make some money off it, maybe do some real estate shots and so forth, and see where it goes.
Okay, so my recommendation is this. It's a hobby right now. It could, maybe spin into something else. You never know where things could take you. Now, the Mavic Air 2 is a pretty phenomenal drone as it is, right? It's affordable. It's sub $1,000. So right there, your acquisition price is a lot less than, let's say, a Autel Evo or even a Mavic 2 Pro. If it was me and I really didn't know which way I was going, and I wasn't really happy with the 8K on the Evo 2, and that was $1,400, stepping up another $300-400 is probably not a path I would take. I would probably say get yourself a Mavic Air 2. It's affordable, and if you don't like it, you're not going to feel that bad about the purchase, and the chances are you'll probably be able to have a higher resale value even on that than you would from, let's say, the Autel Evo. That's just my suggestion based upon it's a hobby right now. But if it expands to more, take that $700 drone and start making money with it. And then you can, have that paid off, and then you can be ahead for the next purchase, which, who knows what'll be out by that point.
Okay. I've heard one thing about the geofencing. Is that an issue that I should be thinking about?
I mean, for where I'm at, yeah, it's an issue for me. Is it an issue for everybody? Not particularly. My biggest gripe with the Mavic Air 2 and just DJI's geofencing is how long it actually takes me sometimes to do the unlock. If it's a new area, I have to go through and do the unlock process. So that can be a little bit cumbersome. So, I mean, it just depends. It may not be an issue, but depending on where you buy that drone from, you could have a good return policy. And let's say it doesn't work out, send it back. Then okay, well, that wasn't for me.
All right. Last question.
Okay.
Is hotel really selling out these drones, or they just? I mean, how do you think the sales are going? I mean, are they really?
I mean, they're
getting
they're they're
drones
they're
out?
selling well. Put it this way, they can't fulfill the orders that they've already sold. So, they have more orders than they have drones available to ship. So, I think at this point, most people want choice, and if they don't want DJI, who else do you go with? Unique, they're not existent. So you really don't have many options, and you have Skydio, which is a great company, but it's not a drone for everybody to fly like a Mavic or an Evo or even a Phantom. So to that extent, there's not very many options. You got maybe 3 or 4 major players in the game. I mean, there just isn't a lot of options out there. So people want something different other than DJI. It's like if the only option we had available was Chevy. Not everybody likes Chevy. Maybe some people like Dodge. So you have to have options out there in this space.
All right, I appreciate it, man.
No worries.
I love your YouTube channel. Hope you continue to keep doing a good job you're doing.
I appreciate it, man. Thanks for the call.
Thank you.
You got it, brother. Bye-bye. That was a cool call. I like calls like that. That's always, holy shit, we got a lot of calls. We got a voicemail. Voicemails are always fun. Let's listen to this voicemail. Hang on a second. This one's good. This fucking guy. Speaker on. You son of a bitch. Why?
Hey, Dobo, can you send me instructions on how to burn a burger and set the microwave on fire? And while you at it, send me the link to the LiPo charger. Thanks, bud.
Fucking Eddie Nunez. All right. So, Eddie, the step 1 to being able to burn and set a microwave on fire, you have to put a paper plating there and set it for at least 30 seconds. Unattended. That's how you set it on. I'm going to get you that link for the LiPo charger. I promise you. I am really bad when it comes to follow through, apparently, as you can see. All right, so that was Eddie. We got a couple of calls. Should we call these people back? All right, let's call these people back. Well, people, Peppa. All right, we're going to just randomly pick a number. We're going to call it and see who it is. So we're going to call this number. All right, let's call this number. We're calling it right now. All right, I have no idea who this is. I don't know. Lauren, I like X Dynamics. I can't wait for that to come out. Hello.
Hello?
Hey, who am I on the phone with?
Chris Lee.
Oh, Chris, we just talked, didn't we?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. I'm calling the numbers back that called in, but I forgot I grabbed yours last. I'm sorry, man.
No problem. I got it. No problem.
You'll,
Appreciate it, though.
it'll be funny when you watch this in 30 seconds.
It always is.
All right, brother. I'll talk to you later.
Appreciate it.
Bye.
Yes, sir.
That is the nicest, politest guy. Nicest, politest guy. All right, we'll do a couple of more calls here. The number to dialing, as we go. We're getting pretty wrecked here right now. I'll tell you what. Oh, Jesus. The number to call. You ready? We'll do a hard tune on this.
We'll do a hard tune. The number to call in is 813-279-1689.
Again, in a normaler voice, it's 813-279-1689. Please check your local carrier services and listings to see if long distance will apply. Did I get that right? I did. All righty. That's the number. If you have your question or you just want to tell me to go pound sand, that's fine too. So far, we're 2 for 2 with normal calls. Mr. Chris Lee, super nice guy. Even when I called him back, we're gone. We're dropping all G's at this point. We're dropping all the G's. You know what, Lauren, you're right. I totally forgot about X Dynamics, but again, it's sort of like B-Man said. Can you afford X Dynamics? Could be a phenomenal drone. But can you afford it? God, I love Wednesdays. Do you guys like Wednesdays? I love Wednesdays. I love Wednesdays so much. It's a good day. It's a brilliant day. Wednesdays are, oh, here we go. We got another call. Got one live one. All right. Live one on the hook here. Hang on a second. We're going to decline that one. We're going to send this one into the
call will start at the beep.
Here we go. Hello? Hello? The way this phone call works is I say hello, you say, oh, he hung up. They hung up. All right, we got a missed call. We're calling this call. We're calling this joker. We're calling this one. See? Can't get cold feet. Can't get cold feet on this shit. You just got to. All right, fuck it. We're just calling it. All right. God bless it. We got to figure this out. Hello. You're on the air.
Hey, is this where you ordered a V-copter?
Listen here. We don't sell the V-copter, okay, fuckbags? No V-copters.
Hey,
no
I want a
V-copter.
V-copter.
You get no V-copter. You get no V-copter. There will never, ever be a V-copter.
I was told that you had them in stock now.
Oh, I had the V-copters in stock now. Now I get the fucking V-copter in stock. Listen here. There will never be a V-copter, ever. You bet you have a better chance of me being sober on a Wednesday than you getting a V-copter, okay?
Oh, man.
Well, you know.
I was sure I was going to get one today. I wanted to be the first kid on the block with a V-copter.
You'll never be the first kid anywhere on the block with a V-copter. It's never happening. You got a better chance of Tiny Tim from the Christmas Story walking again before you get a V-copter. It's never going to happen.
Oh, the guy that did tiptoe through the tulips?
It's right through the friggin' tulips, right through them. Who am I speaking?
This is Bob.
Bob
White.
Bob, good to hear you, man. Good to finally hear you, man.
You too. Hey, nice show.
Thanks, brother. I really do appreciate that, man.
All righty.
All right.
I'll let you get back to your many listeners.
Well, have a good one, man. What a great guy. What a great guy. Oh, Bob, he's a mess. He got me. The V-copter threw me off a little bit. The V-copter threw me off. Bless it anyways. The V-copter. I thought it was B-Man for a second. I was thinking to myself, like, that's B-Man. Thank you, Tennessee Rocky Raccoon. There we go. We throw up a little slot machine action for you there. All right. What do you think? Do we have another call on us? Question remains. Do we have another call on us? Who do we call? You know what? I know who we call. We're going to call somebody special. This is somebody that'll answer the phone every single time I call her. She's an amazing person. Amazing woman. Let's see. Come on. It won't call it, though. Come on. You call it. Why is it not calling? Sanity. All right, we got a lot of shit going on this channel here. All right, so we got all right, we'll call this number back. Let's listen to this voicemail.
I got just something along the lines of the burning issue with the Mavic Air 2. My telephone is 678-763-4427.
Okay, let's call Rob back. He's got an issue with the Mavic Air 2. He says he's got a burning problem. Let's call him. Wait, whose number am I calling? I'm calling Rob. Let's call Rob. Rob's got an issue. This is a mess tonight. This is a mess. We're calling Rob. Rob has some issues. I'm pretty sure my wife blocked my phone call as well. Rob, I'm calling you. You're going to see this 30 seconds later, man. I don't know. I feel like I need a Bluetooth headset. Well, then I can't display the calls. I feel like I should put a Bluetooth headset. All right. Rob's not answering. All right. Thank you, Metrodome. I don't know. This is really annoying me that this number is not functioning. I'm going to call my dad. He's like, sometimes my father, like when he talks, He's like, it's like he's on speed. Like, I'm glad he's alive, but it's like he's on dial-up internet. You'll see. Let's call him. We'll call my dad. My dad is like on dial. It takes him a minute to buffer. He did a lot of acid when we were growing up. So he's we'll call dad. Call him dad. Hey, do me a favor. Can you get that ladder out of my garage?
Yeah, I need to pick up your tools. Do that Friday.
Yeah, because you left the garage door unattended. I had to finish it. And did Mom block me again because she's not answering the phone?
It's because she's on the phone with Aunt Desiree, so when she's on the phone with Aunt Desiree, she doesn't answer anyone's phones. Well,
that is shameful. That is shameful. As firstborn, I should get first right of refusal. First right of refusal as the firstborn child, and she just disrespects me like this. I honestly, I feel, I don't know, sort of jaded. Join the crowd. Aren't you a bag of sunshine? All right, listen, tools out of the garage tomorrow because I'm having a party on Saturday, and I can't have that sort of clutter. So we got to do something. 8-foot ladder, the whole shebang. We got to do something with it. Okay, buddy?
Yeah.
You're very talkative. I'm just severely disappointed with you, Father. All right. Well, I'll let you play Pokemon.
Yep.
You son of a bitch. All right. Well, he's just not talkative today. Not talkative today. All right. One more time. We'll put this number out there. If you want to call into the show, it's been an absolute... Oh, we got a caller. All right. I got to press 1.
The call will start at the beep.
Hello, this is Dobo.
Hey, is this Ken?
Yes. Is this a bill collector?
Bill collector. All right, okay, man. This is Cliff Totten. I figured I'd give you
Oh, Cliff Totten, the legendary Cliff Totten. How are you?
legendary. Oh, I don't know about all that.
Well, I don't know, man. That's what people tell me. It's legendary.
Legendary. Wow. Okay. Well, that's new to me, but that's cool. I'll take it. I'll take it. I do have a question for you, though.
What's up, buddy?
Thinking, so the question goes like this. So we know what the Air 2 has got. We know what you guys are working on with that.
Uh-huh.
Can we use that as a predictor for what we think the Mavic 3 Zoom and the Mavic 3 Pro is going to have as far as cameras go? I have an idea.
Okay, well, let's hear it.
So my idea is, okay, so they've got the IMX 583 development. They've done all this, 586 in development. They've done all this stuff with Quad Bear with the Air 2.
Okay.
I think they're going to take that sensor, like they've worked on with the Air 2, and port that over, throw a 2x, maybe if we're lucky, a 3x zoom lens on that same exact sensor. And bang, they give us a zoom, a Mavic, Mavic 3 zoom, and they take what Autel is doing with the IMX 383 6K, it's really a 5.5K sensor, and take that and use that same sensor for the Mavic 3 Pro.
Okay, firstly, there's a lot for me to compute at this stage of the game, but here's my thoughts on it all. I don't think there will be 2 separate drones this time around. And the reason being because I think it costs them more to produce 2 separate cameras. I think whatever they give us, it's all going to be in one tight little package, right? Does that make sense? You give us the best of all the worlds. You give us zoom, and you give us a 1-inch sensor. At this point, I'm losing it, but you give us it all in one package. Let's not break it up into 2.
Can I make a 1-inch sensor and keep that size down now?
But think about it. Think about the Sony cameras we have right now, like the ZV-1 that was just released. That's a very small sensor.
Right.
I think the technology is there. But here's the question: does an end user want to pay for that technology? That's always the question. I don't think it's a matter of if we can. I think it's a matter of, do you want to pay for that technology?
Sure. Yeah,
So.
I got both. I have the Zoom and the Pro, and I honestly I fly the Zoom more because I love being able to fly at a higher altitude, fly further away from something, and yet still zoom in on it and get close without actually having to be close to something.
Yeah, I get that.
Stuff like that. That's cool. So I mean, if they could do that with a 1-inch sensor, they can kill kind of two birds with one stone. I think the question would be is can they make it small enough? I mean, it would probably be bigger, definitely bigger than the Phantom 4 Pro.
I think so. I think the future is going to be foldable for DJI, but I think they're going to learn their lesson that creating two drones like they did with the Zoom and the Pro just cannibalizes themselves, right? It's not something that's conducive to sales, right? It's easier to sell one thing well, and then instead of trying to sell two things well, it's just easier to sell one thing. Look how well the Mavic Mini's done.
Yeah.
Look how well the Mavic Air 2 has sold. It's easier to sell one thing well than split it up between two. But time will tell. I mean, Lon predicts October. I would say that's a safe guesstimate. Just before Christmas time, slam us with another drone, sort of like they did with the Mavic Mini. Seems like a fair predicament.
Gotcha. You think the Phantom series is dead? I mean, they're done with that, right?
I think.
I see the pictures of a removable lens 1-inch sensor that was circulating like two years ago, and that thing just died. It just went nowhere. But that was a real badass camera that they developed. They put money into that. So.
I did see that, but I mean, it's tough to say. You know, the reality is nobody knows what DJI is ever going to do except for DJI, and anybody touting that they know what their next move is full of shit, unless if they actually work there in research and development. I don't think they really know. And I think that's the biggest thing with any product in this industry is to keep people on their heels.
Gotcha. Yeah, well, I mean, they did. They put some considerable money into R&D for that camera. I can't imagine they just threw the thing in the trash can. They've got to move that thing over somewhere.
Exactly.
You just don't develop a lens mount and go to Sony and get the lens protocol and get all this stuff going only to throw the thing in the trash can. So that's kind of they developed three lenses. Like I think it was a 24, a 50, and like an 85, or 16, 24, and a 50, something like that. So that's a lot of money they put into it. But who knows? Who knows, man?
I hear you. Well, time will tell, my friend.
All right, man.
Good talking with you, Cliff.
Thank you very much for taking my call, man. And I'll great audience and a great show here, and keep it up.
Thanks, brother. I appreciate it.
Peace.
See ya.
All right. Bye.
All right. So here's the question. During that call with Cliff, my mom called me. Do we call my mother? Do we call my mother? Or do I see who left me voicemails? A lot of people called during that call. We had, I don't even know. We had 1, 2, 3, 4. We have voicemails. So let's play a voicemail back. We'll play a voicemail. I don't even know where this show's going.
It's the original Masshole. I was just wondering, did you go through a lot of process of figuring out what software you would use for post-production, or did you hone in on one and just stuck with it? Just curious to see what your thoughts are. And any luck with that Skyward crap? Let me know.
Okay, so to the Masshole. No luck with Skyward as of yet. As far as software goes, I think I started with Final Cut Pro for my channel. And then like somewhere into using Final Cut Pro, I was actually having problems with it. I know that's weird because a lot of people say, oh, they don't have problems with the software, but I did have problems with Final Cut Pro. So I ended up switching. I forced myself to switch to Premiere Pro. And honestly, I have not looked back since looking at Premiere Pro. Now, with that being said, yeah, it's not perfect, but I do like everything that Premiere offers me. Premiere offers me so much more than what I can get at a Final Cut Pro. But with that said, utilizing Premiere Pro comes at a cost. Me, I'm fortunate I can go ahead and write it off at the end of the year and say it's a business expense. But you have to decide, is it worth the $20? And if I cancel it, are they going to charge me? Hopefully that helps. All right. Where was I? My mother. All righty. This is going to be a mess because I warn you, she's a mess. Let's call her. Call her Mom. She's a good Italian lady. Real nice lady. She's not answering the phone now. She's not answering. This is unbelievable. This is unbelievable. Her favorite son. Jesus Christ.
The voicemail box of 35294.
Oh, she's shut up. Oh, here she is. Ma,
What?
calling you.
What?
I tried telling you before, Dad never took the ladder out of the garage, sitting there collecting space. I need that.
Okay.
We need the ladder gone, Ma.
I know, because you're having a party Saturday.
Yes, we're having a party Saturday.
All right.
So, anyways, listen.
This is the deal.
What's the
No,
deal?
you listen.
Oh, I'm gonna listen now.
This is the deal.
Okay.
This is the deal. Friday I'm going to be bringing stuff over
Mm-hmm.
to Joe's for the garage sale.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to have early. Your father's off Friday.
Okay.
When we unload the trailer,
The ladder's gone.
we'll swing by. And get the ladder.
All right. Good. All right. You get that ladder out of here, and then we're in business. You enjoy flying FPV today with me, Ma?
Oh, fuck, it's on my tailgate.
What do you mean? What's on your tailgate? Talking about the fucking
TV
drone.
Because,
Jesus
oh my
Christ.
God.
Jesus Christ, Ma. I can't give you anything.
Oh, my God, all about it.
All right, Ma. All right. Listen. All right. Well, go listen. Get that over there. Stop smoking so much, okay?
Jesus Christ. Yep. Okay.
All right, Ma. All right.
Bye.
She's a good lady. She smokes a little bit too much, but she's a good lady. Good lady. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's the show tonight. That's the show. We're, at this point, 7 beers in for the day. We've had it. Great show. Thank you, Jack from Half Chrome Drones, for coming on the stream tonight. Thank you for we got a message. Let's listen to all these, holy shit, all these messages. We got a message. Let's listen to this message. This could be from Cigar City.
Oh, this is Bill, Cigar Nation Warriors from Windsor, Colorado, calling your ass just to tell you, man, I love you. I love what you're doing. I love you speak the truth. And you give me a reason to get hammered every fucking Wednesday night. So keep up the good work, buddy. Bye.
Oh, Bill, dude. Cigar Nation, man. He says that he has a reason to get hammered on Wednesdays. You know what? If there's one thing that can bring us all together, it's a little bit of, High Life, some Miller High Life, some, let's smash a beer can, shall we? All right. That's got a little bit. They still got a little bit. We got to tear these down a little bit, some. And then I got to call Billy. This show is going to be interesting. It's a podcast. It's fine. It's a podcast. Got to do this podcast. Yeah. All right, let's do this. I perfected this. Ladies and gentlemen, I have perfected the art of smashing the beer can. I'm going to get it. We're going to get it. Minimal injury this evening. We did it. We've got it. We did it. Minimal. Look at that. I don't even think we got much of a mark. Did we get a mark on our head? I could go for some Botox. Next week's guest. Who's next week's guest? I don't know. Maybe we get Paul from Drone U to come on here. Wouldn't that be interesting? Wouldn't that be interesting? Maybe. But maybe he's under the assumption that, no press is good press. I don't know. Either way. I digress. Alrighty. Ladies and gentlemen, Drone Brews. We'll see you next Wednesday. Hope you all enjoyed the show for an hour and 30 minutes. That was painful. That was painful. All right. We got a good solid smash. We had a couple of brews. B-Man mentioned V-Copter 12 times. Good voicemails. Great voicemails. I can't wait. I'm excited. Next week, we're back again with a new guest, more beer, and stupidity. Make sure you leave your dislike on the video. All you salty bastards that watch this and you dislike it, you fucks. You have no soul. No soul. Francis. All right, Lauren. We may have to do that, Lauren. I'm interested. You seem knowledgeable about a lot of different things. It's interesting. Challenge him to drone jousting. We should do that. We'll do that. I'm lit, guys. All righty. Everybody drive safely. If you're driving, hopefully you're not driving. I'm going to walk safely to my bedroom, to which I will pass out. Great. This is a great hour. Greatest hour ever. It's an hour and a half. But, ladies and gentlemen, let me go ahead and sign this off with a round of applause. God damn it. I really need to label these. There it is. We got it, finally. I bid you adieu. The original.
Not finna write, yeah. Too many nights, yeah. Not finna write, yeah. I can't be still inside. I can't be still inside. Too many nights, yeah. Not finna write, yeah. Too many nights, yeah. Not finna write, yeah. I can't be still inside. I can't be still inside. It's not insomnia, really. I'm not a zombie, a thriller. I'm moving calmly but iller. Not playing party Attila. I ain't been partying either, but at the Garden of Eden, just drinking water and eating. It's probably not what you're thinking, but I hardly been thinking. I feel like hardening season. I know that's hard to believe in, and that's just part of the reason. I'm catching up to you because you waiting, you sleeping. I feel like hardening season. Yeah. Too many nights, yeah. Not finna write, yeah. Too many nights, yeah. Not finna write, yeah. I can't be still inside. I can't be still inside. Too many nights, yeah. Not finna write, yeah. Too many nights, yeah. Not finna write, yeah. I can't be still inside. I can't be still inside. I don't toss and I don't turn. There's some lessons I'ma learn. Usher said to let it burn, but my life isn't his concern. I don't toss and I don't turn. There's some lessons I'ma learn. Usher said to let it burn, but my life isn't his concern. I am not the one, and I am not your Neo. I am not a hero, and I am not a hero, and I am not your one. Yeah, and I'm not your Neo, and I am not a hero. Yeah, and I'm not a hero. Yeah. Too many nights, yeah. Not finna write, yeah. Too many nights, yeah. Not finna write, yeah. I can't be still inside. I can't be still inside. Too many nights, yeah. Not finna write, yeah. Too many nights, yeah. Not finna write, yeah. I can't be still inside. I can't be still inside.
For the people who been holding me down. 2 times for the people who been holding me down. That's 3 times for the people don't be knowing me now. I just move without a sound, and I just move without sound. And 1 time for the people who been holding me down. And 2 times for the people who been holding me down. And 3 times for the people I don't see them around. I just been moving around. Yeah. I'll react if I had to. Put some things in the past too, and don't let them distract you, but react if you have to. Yeah. I'll react if I had to. Put some things in the past too, and don't let them distract you, but react if you have to. Yeah. React if you have to, yeah.
Don't know the time, yeah. Just know that I'm, yeah, one of a kind, yeah. What's on your mind, yeah. Well, hard to find, yeah. Beautiful mind, yeah. Still in my prime, yeah. Just know that I'm here. Yeah. Too many nights, yeah. Not finna write, yeah. Too many nights, yeah. Not finna write, yeah. I can't be still inside. me, and really, I'm not a zombie, a thriller. I'm moving calmly but iller, not playing party or tiller. I ain't been partying either, been at the Garden of Eden, just drinking water and eating. It's probably not what you're thinking, but I hardly been thinking. I feel like Harden in season. I